We're getting to the point that Atlantis got to. That's why we don't want to make the same mistakes again. And they were telling me a lot of these things because our scientists are getting to that point. We are doing experiments with animals and humans. A lot of you probably know that they were developing the pigs, putting human cells into the pigs so they could take the cells and the organs and transplant them into humans. This was so because once this happened, they figured the body would not reject a foreign object. But one scientist was smart enough to say, yeah, we can handle pigs, we can eat pork, but how do we know what's going to happen if you put the organ in the body with the blood flowing through it all the time that could produce a disease that there'd be no cure for? So they said he didn't advise it. So they stopped the experimentation for a while. Now they started up again because they say, oh, we don't think it's going to do any harm. But this is only the beginning. The cloning is another part. We are headed down the same road that Atlantis was headed down. And also now with the collider thing, there's a whole lot more they've told me we don't even know about that is happening. They've told me many, many things, and they said you're not to write about this, you're not to lecture about it. It's just for you to know for your own information. And some audiences say, but you can tell us, can't you? But there's many things the government is doing that is headed down that road, and that's why they want us to know these things. But the grid keepers are those who are rebuilding the grids again to make the earth back. Because when all of this began collapsing was when the DNA was taken away. That we were reduced from 12-strand down to 2-strand because they said, we can't handle it, we got to start all over again. So they had to go back to the primitive stages. So now we're going to rebuild the grids, we're going to be bringing back the DNA that we've lost. And we're headed into the new earth. And it's going to be wonderful, it's going to be glorious. And we've been told, I've written a lot about the new earth because of the separation, the old earth and the new earth. And this could take longer than I have to explain the new earth totally. But it is in the book of Revelations where they talk about the new heaven and the new earth. This is what they were talking about. Some taken and some left behind. The thing was that when John wrote the book of Revelations and had the vision, he didn't realize it was going to be 2,000, 3,000 years before it actually happened. He just saw the vision. But they don't want to destroy the world again. It takes too long to build it. So they said, what we're going to do is create a new earth that these beings will lead the others into. That now there's been enough volunteers come, first wave, second wave, grid keepers. They were worried about it, but now there's enough. They think we can finally do it. There are tens of thousands of people now. It's like the 100th monkey syndrome. We have tipped the balance and they think we can do it. They're very hopeful that we can and they won't have to destroy the earth again, the world again. So what they're doing is creating the new earth that we'll move into. The first time in the history of a universe that an entire planet is changing vibration and frequency and moving into another dimension. This is very, very powerful and very important. Now, there will be some left behind. This is the old earth. This is where all of your conspiracy, your earthquakes, your tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, all of that is going to be happening in the old earth. They said, the ones who choose to stay there, they've told me they're the ones who are asleep. They don't know what's happening. They have created all this negativity. They're not ready to listen. They will stay with what they have created. The rest of us know that's not our world. This is where you have a choice to make right now. Which world do you want to have be your world? You have the power, you have the mind that you can't believe to create your own reality. Do you want to stay with the old earth with all the negativity and the things happening? Or do you want to move into the new earth where we will have the technology that will go into the 1,000 years of peace and wonders beyond belief that they told me. When you first go into the new earth, you will have your physical body. And after you're over there for a while, you will eventually turn into light bodies. But it is, that's what these people are. It may take a long time, but there'll be no disease, no death. And people keep saying, don't you have to die to go there? And I said, no, you will take this body. And at first it's going to be very subtle. You won't even realize what's happening. But then, after a while, you'll say, you know, things seem different. And it won't be a sudden bang, that's the end of it. 2012 is not the end of the world. It really isn't. I don't care what that goofy movie was. It is not the end of the world. This is the culmination of when it's the culmination of when the energies all come together. And believe me, this is the greatest show on earth. All the ETs, everybody is out there watching. They're trying to see, are we going to be able to pull this off? Because it's never happened before in the history of the universe. And when I ask them questions about it, the new earth and all the mechanics of it, they'll say, we can't answer all your questions because we don't know. It's never happened before. They give me the best they can, but it's up to man and what mankind decides to do. But you may think of it as a separation into two separate things, but it's actually a moving into another dimension. And that's all right. If the other ones want to stay with the old earth, you're not supposed to worry about it. Some people say, well, I've talked to them and talked to my family, my relatives, and they don't believe me. You're not supposed to try to convert anyone like the church does. You're not supposed to try to push them over. Let them make up their own minds. It's their own choice. And when they get to the point they're asking questions, then we have the answers. But otherwise, it'll just go right over their head and it'll irritate them. So, you know what's going to happen, and by example, they'll know something is going on. But even if they don't go right away, they said they cannot change the vibration and frequency immediately. It would destroy the human body. It has to be done gradually. It's been happening since about 2003, the gradual changing of the vibration and frequency. Because as you move into this new earth, it's a gradual process. Your body is also changing its vibration and frequency to match the new earth. So it's a gradual process. These other ones are not going to be able to shift that quickly. They say it's okay. Eventually, they'll all get there.